Obituaries are sponsored by Colonial Funeral Home and Stokes Chapel, Fair, Ray, and Perry Spencer Funeral Homes, Boone & Cook Funeral Home and Crematory.
Funeral services for Larry Clinner Albright, 77, of Reedsville, are today at 11 o'clock at Boone & Cook Funeral Home, with visitation 1 hour prior to the service. Interment will be in Roselawn Memorial Gardens. Norman Francis Hall, 89, of Eden, died July 22nd. Private memorial services will be held. A register book is available to sign at Boone & Cook Funeral Home. He was born in Bassett, served in the United States Army during the Korean War, and worked for more than 20 years at Mize Motors as a mechanic before going into business for himself. He was preceded in death by his wife of 58 years, Elizabeth Thompson Hall. Survivors: sisters Shirlene Pratt and James of Eden, Laverne Bethay and Johnny of Montgomery, Alabama. Children: Darrell Hall and Kathy of Boone's Mill, Dwayne Hall and Ann of Roanoke, Mike Hall and Deborah Lynn Carter and Whistle of Eden. 8 grandchildren and 14 grandchildren. He was a member of the Apostolic Church of Jesus Christ in Boone's Mill. The family thanks the home-based primary care of the VA Medical Center in Salem for their care and support. In lieu of flowers, donations may be made to his church. Arrangements for Carol Lynn and Trent Anderson, 73, of Eden, are incomplete at Boone & Cook Funeral Home. Graveside services for Lawrence Allen Smith, 72, of Martinsville, are tomorrow at the Smith Family Cemetery in Ridgeway. Perry Spencer Funeral Home in Madison is in charge of arrangements. Delphine Moore, 86, of New Jersey, died August 21st. Arrangements are incomplete at Perry Spencer Funeral Home in Madison. Funeral services for Marion Reynolds Fields, 91, are today at 2 o'clock at Fair Funeral Home. Graveside services for Eugene Buddy Smith Moretz, Jr., 76, are tomorrow at 11 o'clock at Overlook Cemetery. He will lie in state at Fair Funeral Home all day today. Roxy Joyce Roberts, 87, died Monday. Graveside services are Thursday at 10 o'clock at Overlook Cemetery. She will lie in state all day tomorrow at Fair Funeral Home. She was born in Price, was a charter member of El Bethel Presbyterian Church, and a retiree of Fillcrest Mills. Survivors: daughters Pat Hall and Walter of Reedsville, and Ann Young of Greensboro. Son Tim Roberts and Lori of Eden, 3 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. She was preceded in death by husband Matthew Mack Roberts. Memorial contributions may be made to her church. Patricia Ann Agee, 73, died Monday. Graveside services are Thursday at 2 o'clock at Mount View Cemetery, Ridgeway. She will lie in state tomorrow afternoon at Fair Funeral Home from 1 until 6. She was born in Leakesville, was a member of Temple of Faith in Ridgeway, and worked for Fillcrest Mills and Warren Trucking Company. Survivors: daughter Lisa Shelton and Mark Lee of Henry, and 1 grandchild and 1 great-grandchild. Also, brother Curtis McCracken and Cindy, and sister Carol Fleck and Tom of Eden. She was preceded in death by husband Arnold Agee. Healing begins at Roselawn Memorial Gardens, Ashley Loop, Reedsville, and at Reedlawn Cemetery, Barn Street, Reedsville. Follow us on Facebook.